the decisions we make in crisis, despite their urgency and their rapid nature, influence all parts of society and really set the policy for a long time to come.
It's completely understandable that people become emotional in times of crisis, but it's also important to make decisions that are built on scientific evidence and facts.
Have not learned enough from previous crises?
The most important point for the policymakers is to understand that no crisis is an island anymore. Crises are spreading and causing other crises. And therefore also the crisis management cannot be done in silos. We have to connect those silos somehow. And this is precisely the strategic crisis management.
And because of this changing nature of the event, we need to rethink the way we manage crisis. First of all, the need for coordination is uncontested in the literature because there are more and more different sectors, players, and member states that are affected and whose response affects each other. These responses need to be aligned. Crises are so cascading in nature and have these transboundary consequences. We have to think about how we coordinate the different actors, the different member states that are involved. And because crises are more long-lasting, they also have a tendency to intersect and amplify each other. And that means rather than treating sort of every single crisis separately, one crisis can become a risk in another sector or for another country.
The second important message from the chief scientific advisors would be to pay more attention to prevention and also to long-term effects of crises. You may say that crisis prevention is expensive, and yes, it is expensive, but it's expensive only in short term because all the crises have something in common. We have to learn from the previous crisis and prepare for the next one.
Because of the changing nature of crisis, we need better preparedness across all levels and layers, ranging from different data preparedness to ensure that information can be shared, better foresight and better training across all layers from the citizens to policymakers and decision makers. But really setting these standards and guidance to prepare for this type of crisis is crucial.
And the third important message is to try build better connection to the civil society and to the private sector in prevention of crises, dealing with crises, and recovery of crises. Citizens have a lot of power and they have a lot of skills. Private sectors have a lot of resources. In an acute crisis, a good politician can combine them together to bounce back faster and better.
A couple of things that can be done to make our societies more resilient and that put us in a better place to respond to any crisis. And this is that abolish poverty, reduce inequalities, and improve the societal debate on how we make decisions together, what values our decisions should be based upon, and how can we use scientific evidence in this decision making. Values don't need to be inserted into policy making, they're always already there. Sometimes problems in public acceptance of public measures come from the fact that the values that underpin those measures are not made explicit. Only if solidarity is also institutionalized can it be effective in preventing crisis, in building back better from crisis, and also in making our societies more resilient.
Start preparing for the next crisis already now, without knowing what the next crisis is,